Here's some real innovation. Computer Janitor. Over time, a computer tends to become cluttered. For example, software packages that are no longer needed can be uninstalled. When the system is upgraded from release to release, it may miss out configuration tweaks that freshly installed systems get. Computer Janitor is an application to fix these kind of problems. It attempts to find software packages that can be removed and tweak the configuration in useful ways. Only, it doesn't fucking do that! Yep, it's a rant video. Enjoy. So judging by that description, it's going to remove any useless packages from our system. Let's run it now. Completely clean, up-to-date Ubuntu. Let's see what it's going to say. Right, it's going to remove the old kernel. So far, that's good. It's doing its job at the moment. It's only removing the headers actually, it's not removing the image itself, so if the system did break with an update you could still roll back if you really needed to. Right, didn't find anything to clean up, okay. About. This application helps you find and remove software packages you might not need anymore. It also suggests changes that might benefit you. Now, because that's in the default install and it says that, it makes it sound like a friendly program that's going to help you out more than anything. It also, on first glance with a name like Computer Janitor, it seems to, it kind of resembles CCleaner in a way. In such, it will clean up your junk files. That's how most people would interpret that at first. And that's how I thought it would work at first. Let's quit. So I thought that's good. Computer Janitor is included by default. People can have a clean system now. I was wrong. Let's go to opera.com. Let's download Opera. Let's go to adobe.com. Let's download Flash. Let's download Adobe Reader. And let's download VirtualBox. Because the one in the repo might not be good enough for most people because it's the open source version, it lacks a few features. We'll just let these download. As you can see here, I've got all the programs installed that I downloaded. Opera, World of Goo, VirtualBox, Adobe Reader. There's Adobe Opera running with Adobe Flash Player. Let's open Computer Janitor. Hasn't asked me for a password yet. It's because I just used sudo. As you can see, as unused, it's listed Flash Player, Adobe Reader, Opera, VirtualBox and World of Goo. This package is no longer supported. It is no longer in the package archive. It may have been installed from an unofficial archive that is no longer available. In this case you may want to keep it. Well, that's fair enough. But still, why is it listed here? And also, most people when they see stuff like this, I'm going to be honest, they're not going to read it. I know they should read it, but they're not going to read it. They're going to think that this is going to delete the cache files or whatever from when they installed it. They're going to click do selected tasks. They're going to click remove packages. Hasn't asked them for their root password because they hadn't used Synaptic that long ago or something. So it's cleaning up. No warning, nothing saying we don't recommend you do this. Just it does it anyway. And because it didn't ask for a password, people may assume that it's only clearing user-based files, so they'll think it's alright. And then I noticed that my trash can isn't empty yet. Because that's not what Computer Janitor does. Even though you'd think that from the name, that's not what it does at all. Now of course our programs are running in memory, so they're still going. Adobe Reader's still working. Opera's still working. Now let's take a look at the next situation. Someone's going to click on YouTube. They're going to click on the next video or something. And it'll work for a while, but then eventually Flash will stop working because it's being uninstalled. And then they'll quit Opera because they want to restart it. They'll go to look for Opera again, and it's gone. Now it wants to remove the dependencies of those programs. They'll go to their desktop. Now it hasn't deleted the shortcuts properly at all, but they'll go to their desktop and their stuff is. Then they'll try and quit the game just to get it out of the way. Go to launch it again. Uh-oh. 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 Yep, Computer Janitor removed a lot. Not a word of warning. So the question is, why the fuck is this included in the default install if this is what it does? If that's the intended behaviour of it, then it's fucking restrictive. And to be honest, everyone just switch back to Windows. If you switch back to Ubuntu so you don't have restrictions, switch back to Windows. Because this is stupid. If it's still a bug and it needs to be worked out, like many people have said to me about this bloody program, if it's a bug and it needs to be worked out, why is it in the default install? It's pointless. Why put it in the default install if that's what it's going to do? It's so stupid. And what if I don't know, if I downloaded a third-party package to fix a core dependency in my system, or I got my own kernel from somewhere, and then I went on to run Computer Janitor, and just assuming that I know nothing about Linux, I went on to run a Computer Janitor and it removed it, and then I could never boot my system again. Now not only are the same people who are going to run this program probably not going to know how to back their data back up from logging into the live CD and mounting their drive and changing ownership. People aren't going to know how to do that, and people don't want to have to do that because of some default application deleting all their data. The default application, which sounds like it's going to delete your temporary files. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. This program should be out of the default install, out of the question. Canonical give nothing to Upstream in a way. They don't do much for anyone. I know that they fund KDE a little bit, but then they don't do much. They don't give much back, and then they go and make this bullshit. What's the point? Why do they do it? If they should work on proper projects and stop making this crap. Because it's wrong, it's broken. Don't put it in here until it's finished, until it works. It was the same in the last release of Ubuntu as well. How come they haven't fixed it yet? Why is it still here? Why is it still in the default install? It's wrong, it's plain wrong, it shouldn't be in there. Ubuntu's crap, and if Computer Janitor had any sense, it would remove the whole fucking system and install a different distro. Anyway, end of rant. I'll see you in the next video.